from her. Elkin gets the FPR and verdict fan vote nod in round number 1. Critically important for me was to see how Claressa Sheilds got up, went back to her corner, and got up off the stool. She looks fresh, eyes open, not gassed, not overly gassed at least, after an adrenaline.
Nice right hand. I think Claressa Sheilds and her corner are both relieved. She literally survived the worst position you can be in this fight. Didn't freak out, didn't lose her composure.
That's a nice right hand over the top of Brittany Elkin's guard. And she shoots Claressa Sheilds with a nice draw. Heavy hips here, forcing the head down. And now Claressa Sheilds goes to work. Elkin has got her. Settles in on top, knee on belly to side control.
And these are the two mistakes that she's made in this fight in round 1 and now in round 2, where she re-engaged in the grappling. She had her chance to get back to her feet and do what she does best, but she decided to kind of follow Elkin to the ground, and that's where Elkin has kind of capitalized here, not once but twice in this fight.
Well, it's an experience thing, and we knew the experience was going to be in Brittany Elkin's favor as she walks Claressa Sheilds over to the cage, which is debatable whether or not that's the right thing to do, especially with someone who's relative neophyte. You don't want to give them the barrier to work with leverage.
That's assuming you know how to use the barrier, and that's the real question here.
Does
Claressa know how to get her back to that barrier and use that barrier to walk her way back up to the standing position.
Elkin goes back to the mount. 3 minutes remain in round number 2.
Sheilds has to be careful to not let that arm ride up too high, because that's going to be an arm triangle.
Good. Close. She's close. She's trying to hip over. Elkin in deep enough to keep her down there in the bottom position from full mount.
One disadvantage when you try those explosive movements, it does allow the person on top to grapevine the legs in a little bit deeper, sometimes even lace the legs in under your hips and elevate you.
Elkin's definitely working to isolate that arm. Trying to find a way to get into an arm triangle.
Elkin doing a good job of just relaxing those hips, finding those legs, keeping good solid position. And Sheilds should try to work on trying to push that knee out and trying to get to some kind of guard position. She had her chance right there.
I'm gonna do good shit.
Elkin is pretty high here in her mounts as well. If Claressa can work her way down, and now Elkin has corrected that some. Inside of 2 minutes here in round number 2. 2 of a possible 3 in this showcase main event bout.
90 seconds, 90 seconds.
Elkin doing a good job of being patient, trying to set up that.
Close.
I think
She might come out the back door. She's got to be careful with that arm.
Dang.
Looks like she might be trying to set up a triangle for a mount there. Elkin starting to get busy here.
Claressa doing a good job of minimizing the damage here. Elkin dominating from the
Boy,
top
I thought she
position.
had got about that shit real quick. I'm like, I don't know what she didn't remember, but something came to her, goddamn, she thought about it, was like, you know what? Watch this. If she wouldn't have hooked her arm on that bitch back, she could have slid on about that shit. It look good, but them shots you throwing ain't gonna do no damage. Not on no boxer.
Elkin content to just keep this mount position and chip away. Clarissa's got to be careful extending those arms on those punches. That could be an arm lock for Elkin.
Elkin very high in the mount now.
Claressa trying to slip from up under that bitch.
There it comes.
There it is.
Oh, she almost had my bitch.
Claressa Sheilds pulls it out.
And this is where she needs to disconnect to get back to her feet.
Absolutely.
I'll choke that bitch out.
Leg lay still.
Beat that bitch. Beat that bitch.
From Claressa Sheilds, as she's able to get herself out of trouble. Heavy strikes from the top, right and left hands coming. Few seconds remain in round 2.
Damn.
To take to make the world's most award